Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and we are back here with Season 2 of the Super Formulas from the Ultimate Racing League. So we haven't got a full grid tonight. We didn't have everybody turn up who we thought would. We thought we might have had 2 grids, but only 9 guys on track at the moment. So we are kicking off the season at Deep Forest Raceway. After qualifying, we got Coca lines up on pole. We got Brian Moncani, he's there in 2nd place. We got Chuck in 3rd place. Wenny G is in 4th. Vext is in 5th. We got Graham in 6th. Mawson is 7th. Dizzy Rip is in 8th. Ginger is in 9th. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this is a 50-minute endurance. 3 times tyre wear, 3 times fuel. They're off. Well, Mawson getting a good start in the background. He's gone all the way round Vex, I think it was. Coca's going to take up that pole. Brian Moncani moving up to the inside there. He's taking out 2nd place away from Chuck. Like Wayne G trying to look up the inside there on Chuck as well. I think he's managed to get it done. Chuck is in the Ferrari. And then we've got Graham. Graham's up to 5th place. He's up ahead of Mawson. Mawson's there in 6th. In fact, no, Graham started ahead of Mawson, didn't he? A bit of a wider line through that last turn there for Graham. I thought Mawson may have had a look at the inside, but not quite. But everybody's still starting to form into a little bit of a procession now. So Dizzy still currently in 7th place. He's still ahead of Ginger. Ginger trying to work his way around him, and it looks like we've got in the background there Vex. The Vex is starting to attack Ginger now. I think he's managed to get it up the inside. Has Ginger stayed it around the outside? No, he hasn't. He's not quite done it. Vex has got that move done, so he's moved up to 8th place. Is Ginger going to be able to get a cut back coming along the start finish? So they're about to start lap 2. So Ginger now down in 9th place. Vexed is looking for a move up the inside of Dizzy Rip. He's going to be late on the brakes. He's too late on the brakes. He's gone deep. Dizzy Rip's going to get back through easily. Is that going to allow Ginger to get through as well? Not quite. Mawson is now past Graham. Vex still trying to pressure Dizzy Rip. Putting in purple sectors at the moment. Vexed in the Alpha Tauri. And it looks like Dizzy actually looking like he's going for a move on Graham. So he's caught up to the back of Graham. He's going to try and go through, is he? Oh, it's all got a little bit congested now. Oh, Graham with a bit of a moment there. They're always 3 wide as they come through the tunnel. They are 3 wide. Vexed, he's on the inside. Is there going to be enough room? He's managed to just get through. So he's moved up to 6th place. Is he going to have... Is someone going to try and go up the inside? He's holding the inside line. Well, he's holding the middle of the track, wasn't he? Trying to stop them guys from going for a move. So he's managed to get it done. He's going to try and get his way back through the rest of the field. Starting in 5th. He's now down to 6th. So Ginger is in 9th currently. He's trying to chase down Graham. Graham's dropped all the way down to 8th now. So I'm not sure what happened to Graham. It's looking like Ginger, he's going for a move. He is going for a move on Graham. He's having a look up the inside. He's going to get it done. He does get it stopped later. He's later on the brakes. He managed to get it stopped, but Graham looking like he's going for the switchback. Not quite that time around. So we'll check on board with our race leader, which is still Coca at the moment. He's in the McLaren. We've got Brian Moncani not far behind the Mercedes. Obviously everyone running the Super Formula 23 version in this series. And this series is actually bop, no tune as well, to try and even the field up a bit. But as you can see, Coca kind of in a league of his own at the moment. He's actually stretched out quite a handsome gap already. So we're also trying out a new tyre rules in this round, which will be revised for the next round. We've decided to go with a medium stint, like you have to run mediums for one of your stints. In this round we left the tyre rule open, and although it was quite close racing, it didn't really spice up the pit stop, so to speak. So we've got Brian Moncani still trying to chase down Coca. He's still trying to stay ahead of Chuck at the moment. Chuck all over the back of him though. Chuck is looking good at the moment. He's looking quite strong. As we go on board, get a nice lovely onboard shot there. Slowly approaching 5 minutes in. So there will be 45 minutes left. Once they hit the 5-minute mark. But Chuck's still doing really well to stay with Brian. He's not quite close enough to go for a move at the moment. If he keeps that distance though, coming up the start finish, he may be primed for a move into turn 1. He's coming fast, he is coming fast. He's going to go for the move. He's looking, he's having a look up the inside. Brian's managed to keep it around the outside. He's going to keep that position for the meantime. So that was a great move there from Chuck. He'd set it up from the previous corner and followed it all along the straight, nearly managing to get the move into turn 1. Looking like Brian's a little bit squirrely up ahead of him. Maybe Brian's struggling a little bit with the car this season. Obviously everyone in completely equal machines, so the only difference being we're allowing brake balance so people can run obviously the brake balance controller, so you can control whether your brake bias is front dependent or rear dependent. Brian actually picking up a 0.5 second penalty up ahead. That may give Chuck the moment that he's been wanting. Obviously closes right up to the back of Brian there, into that hard braking zone for the hairpin, for the final hairpin. Now coming down the approach to the start finish. Brian, he's holding that inside line, Chuck's going to have to go the long way round. He's managed to edge ahead. Is he going to be ahead coming into turn 1? He is. Has Brian got an answer for him? Can he come back? I think he's just going to hold as close as he can to Chuck. He doesn't want to lose that position to Wayne G. Wayne G is starting to creep up now. So Brian Moncani dropped down to 3rd place. I think Wayne G may get past him when he serves that penalty. I think the front of the field actually still quite reasonably close together. We've got 3 stragglers now. Starting to fall a little bit off the back of the top 6. And Wayne G is now starting to try and look for that move on Brian. He's used the boost. Has he got past him? He is going to get past when Brian serves that penalty. Will Mawson get through as well? So Brian, there he is. He's coming off the inside. He's moved all the way over. He's trying to defend that position, but Mawson's got through easily. So Mawson now on the back of Wayne G. Brian down to 5th. There is Mawson in the Aston livery. Mawson up to 4th currently. Slight gap now to Wayne G up in 3rd place. And Brian Moncani looking like he's on the attack now against Mawson. He's trying to retake that position, try and get back up into that top 3. Obviously we will have a pit stop in this race. The guys not having to change tyres for a mandatory stop, but they will have to refuel the cars. So Vex now back up to 6th place. He started in 5th, so he's managed to regain, well, he hasn't regained any, has he? He dropped all the way to the back of the field. He's managed to make his way back up to 6th place. Still trying to plug and maybe get up into that top 5. That was where he started, wasn't it? So actually losing, or he's out of position at the moment, currently. So that's Vex there in 6th place. We've got Graham's 7th. He's managed to get back through to 7th place. Him and Dizzy Rip behind him, both carrying penalties. It's only a 0.5 second penalty, so it shouldn't slow them down too much. It looks like everybody running the softs in this first stint. And in fact, with the tyre rules open at the moment, I think they'll be running softs for both stints. As I say, which is why we're going to spice it up for the next round, so we'll be having more tyre wear, and we will be making it mandatory to run the mediums for one stint. It's not been finalised as to whether the guys will have to run them for a minimum amount of time. Although I think it will probably make the next round a one-stop. People probably running mediums, softs, or softs, mediums. And we are at Fuji next time round. Obviously, Deep Forest Raceway here this evening. It's a dizzy rip. I thought it might have been his debut. It is his debut in the Super Formulas, but he is currently racing in League 4 and also, I believe, in the Wednesday night RS6 DTM Championship hosted by our leader himself, Admin. Now Ginger's dropped quite some way off the back of the field now. I think still trying to find his feet a little bit. We did see him, he made an appearance, didn't he, last season, I believe, for one of the races. Actually, everyone is running equal machinery, so maybe he's just used a little bit more of them tyres than he would have liked, taking quite a deep line there through turn 1. Bit of a sketchy line there. So Coca now, he has now got a nice lead, hasn't he, over Chuck. That should change, I would assume, when they pit. I think it's what it's going to be all about now, is going to be who can make their tyres and fuel last longer. Obviously some people probably opt in for the undercut. I think at the moment it looks like Coca is trying to stretch his legs. He has got the current fastest lap of 1:12.4. Pretty consistent 1:13s throughout the race so far. On lap 11 now. So 12 and a half, just over 12 and a half minutes in. So Chuck now doing all he can to try and close that gap to Coca. He's looked very strong this evening, hasn't he, as Chuck? Which is good to see. He was a little bit... I think he appeared as well, didn't he, last season in the SF19s, which were definitely a very different car to drive. A lot more snappy on the throttle, I feel. Obviously these the all-new SF23 with the updated aero. A very planted machine. And Wayne G is still there in third place, still being chased down by Mawson, who's in fourth. Brian Marcani still there in fifth. And we can see Vex there as well in sixth, so third to sixth, all within a couple of seconds of each other. If one of these guys at the front of the field makes a mistake, then the others should surely make up a position. Molson closing really close up to the back end there of Wayne G into that braking zone as they came down the hill, across the bridge and into the tunnel. Wayne G managing to extend a little bit more, so it'll be interesting to see how much of the overtake people have used. Oh, was Molson actually nearly getting the move done there? He had a look up the inside. He is right on the back of Wayne G now. He is right in his wheel tracks. Trying to go the long way round. He has got almost full overtake there. Wayne G just managing to stay ahead into turn one. Molson having a look up the inside. Wayne G covered it off nicely. That was a good bit of defensive driving there from Wayne G. Molson following really close through the snaky section. Can be quite a sketchy part of the track. The car does want to become a bit unstable through there if you collect the curb. So everybody trying not to get too greedy on that curb. And looks like Vext has actually started closing up onto the back of Brian now as well. Looking like Wayne G, he's definitely in his last section of that ERS. That's why you can see the red light there above the halo, above the intake. Molson now under attack from Brian McCartney. Brian McCartney trying to look for a way through already. He's going to follow him along the start finish, I'm sure. He's using his boost now. Well, Molson is using his boost. He's managed to stay ahead as they come into turn one for the 14th time. Brian McCartney was looking like he was on an absolute charge there. He was pressuring Molson, wasn't he? He's also saved quite a lot of that ERS, which will help him. Vex now picking up a 0.5 second penalty. That's not going to help his efforts. He was trying to get past Brian, wasn't he? But I think he's going to drop off a little bit now. Oh, Molson with a big twitch as he tries to get past Wayne G again. Closing right up through that last sector. Vex now serving his penalty. He is going to drop some way off the back of Brian, isn't he? You can also see the red light above his halo, so I think Vex may have used... Oh no, Molson with a huge moment there! He's managed to save it, but Brian McCartney's through. Wayne G, he's starting to drive off into the sunset. Brian McCartney not too far behind him. But Molson, that definitely cost Molson. He's got slight damage to the rear of that car as well. Let's hope he doesn't have too many more of them moments, because Vext is starting to creep onto the back of him. Vext was starting to drop off the pack, wasn't he, with that penalty, but Molson with that moment has allowed him back into the game. So Brian McCartney not quite managing to go onto the back of Wayne G just yet. I think he will do within the next couple of laps. Molson still trying to get away from Vex at the moment. He's not having to use the ERS. Vex not close enough to be able to set up a move. And he's used all of his... We're not even halfway through the race yet and he's used all of his overtake. That doesn't bode well for Vex. He's not going to be able to make top speed in that SF without that overtake. Not unless he's got a tow anyway. So actually looking like Molson started to manage to pull away from Vex again. Vex was looking like he was trying to launch an attack, wasn't it? But now dropping a little bit off the back of Molson. I think Molson getting the advantage of the cars up ahead, the slipstream. So Dizzy Rip now back up to 7th. He's managed to get back past Graham. We missed that one, but Dizzy in the Williams. Graham not too far behind him. Graham running the Alpine this season. Still managing to stick with Dizzy. He's not letting him get away too much. There is a little bit of a gap there, isn't it? But if he manages to keep this pace, he should surely get onto the back of Dizzy again. I fancy Graham might fancy another move towards the end of the race, or maybe he'll go for a different strategy. So Ginge. Oh, and we've got our first person in the pits, so Chuck now diving into the pits. Ginge, he's currently 9th, he's in the McLaren Triple Crown. And Coca now with a massive gap, and the top 5 have passed Chuck. Chuck will be coming out of the pits shortly. Be interesting to see how much fuel he puts in that car. He's actually dropped down to 7th. Coca's still looking good for a couple of laps now. He's still got at least quarter of a tank left in that McLaren, so I don't think we're going to see him pit this lap. And then we've got Brian Moncani. Brian Moncani now moving up to 2nd place. He's managed to get past Wayne G. Wayne G must have had a moment somewhere. There he is, he's got Moulton all over the back of him. Moulton trying to have a look up the inside, Wayne G covering it off nicely. As he comes down to the hard braking zone for the hairpin, Moulton, he's gone for the move up the inside. Has he got it done? He has, but no, Wayne G's taken that position back. On the outside, that was a great exit there from Wayne G, managing to just stay ahead of Moulton. Brave move there from Moulton, he managed to get it stopped, got it turned in, but just didn't have the exit. And they're both neck and neck as they come across the start-finish line again. Moulton trying to go the long way round. Wendy G's going to hold the inside, and he does. Moulton goes around the outside. It looks like Wendy G's in a Jordan. We haven't seen Benson Hedges as a sponsor for quite a few years now. So Moulton, absolutely cracking lap there from Moulton. He went for the move on that hard hairpin, didn't quite manage to get it done, then went the long way round. And he's moved up into 2nd place. Wayne G is now there in 3rd. Has he got an answer? And Vexed, has he come alongside? Has he managed to get past Brian? He's going for a move on Brian, then neck and neck as they come down to the hard braking zone for the hairpin. And Brian manages to keep it around the outside. Great racing there from Brian. Did look like he was going to lose that 4th position, didn't it, to Vex, but Vex is going to have to settle for 5th for the meantime. He hasn't got the advantage of the overtake, but Brian has still got 3/4 of his overtake left. So definitely able to use that defensively. Wayne G is all over the back of Moulton still. Moulton's tyres look a little bit more worse for wear. I think Wayne G has done better to conserve them tyres. He's looking quite strong still at the moment. He must have had a moment somewhere that we missed that allowed... Oh no, we saw Mawson go for the move, didn't we? Brian was up there, wasn't he? He was in second place. He must have had a moment somewhere. He's dropped to fourth. Not really under a lot of pressure from Vex at the moment. Vex still trying to close it up, close that gap, and maybe go for a move. But it looks like Brian just having a better exit at the moment. You see the light on the above the intake there. The Vex Super Formula has just turned off now. No point in it staying on. He has got 0 overtake left. As he goes a little bit deep into that first turn, I think maybe he's starting to struggle on them worn softs. Wenny G has pitted now, so Vex is now up to 4th place, Brian is up to 3rd, so your top 3 currently is Coca, followed by Mawson, followed by Brian Moncani. We got Vex in 4th place, Chuck is now back up to 5th. There is a bit of a gap between him and Vex, but he is on fresh softs. He's also taking on more fuel. Is that going to be enough? We'll have to wait and see. And if you look at the graphic on the top right there, the front 3 just going around turn 1. Chuck has just crossed. Oh no, that wasn't turn 1, was it? That was the hairpin, so they've just gone into the hairpin. Chuck was just coming across the sector, the split. Graham Ali, he's up to 6th place now as Graham. I did say I thought we might see him make up a few more places. So he's opted for track position, he stayed out. He's gone for the overcut. He's got another lap in that car, he feels. So starting lap 22, I think he'll be pitting next lap round. So Wenny G now on fresh softs. He's got more fuel in that car. He's got to start trying to chip into that gap to Graham, although I think he may get past easily once Graham pits. But you see the dirt on them tyres, on the outside tyres there of Wenny G as he dips them outside wheels onto the grass. And the dirt. So Ginge now up to 8th place. He is still yet to pit. I think I saw Dizzy dive him earlier, so yeah, and he is in fact out on fresh softs with almost a full tank of fuel. So Ginge still there in 8th place. I think he's now getting blue flag from Coca. He is. So that is Coca coming up to lap him. And Ginge moves out of the way easily. No trouble there for Coca. It's Dizzy Rip, there he is in 9th place in that Williams. So Coca still out at the front. Not looking like he's got a lot of fuel left in that car. Has he got enough to take him to the pits? This will surely be the lap that he pits. Lap 23. And yeah, he's into the pits now. So where is Mawson? So Mawson and Brian just coming down to the hairpin now. So Mawson is now into the pits. We've got Brian in the pits. Vex is in the pits. Graham, he should surely be going into the pits now, and he is. So Wayne G, will he get past them guys that are in the pits? I think he might do. He has used all of his overtake as well. So Chuck is back in. Chuck is new race leader. Wayne G, he's moved up to 3rd place. As them guys serve their pits. Vex is back out in 4th, so Vex managing to jump Brian Moncani and Mawson. So Chuck is new race leader. It's looking like he might have underfueled that car though. We have got another 20 minutes to go. He should surely be able to make them tyres work, but only half a tank of fuel left there. I don't know if he's made an error in his strategy. We'll have to wait and see. So Coca is back out fresh soft. There's a bit of a gap now between him and Chuck. He has got a little bit of work to do, but as I say, Chuck, maybe he's going to have to start fuel saving, or will he do a splash and dash? We'll have to wait and see. So Wenny G is back up to third. He managed to get past a few of them guys in the pits, didn't he? He's done pretty well, to be fair. So Vex now under pressure from Brian. He's trying to cover the inside off. Brian is going to easily go around the outside, surely. Oh, as he cuts straight across, Vex knows there to cover the inside. I think that was probably a bit of a brown trouser moment there for Vex. Brian moves up to 4th place easily. Obviously he has still got the advantage of saving that ERS. We're into the second half of this race now. 30 minutes in, 20 minutes to go. And Brian is going to surely start trying to get onto the back of Wenny G again, try and close that gap. He has started stretching it already to Vexed. You see Moulton just coming around that hairpin. So Vexed has got a bit of breathing space at the moment, but he is starting to lose sight of Brian. He's going to be losing the advantage of the slipstream coming down the start-finish straight as well. Well, I think he's only just picking it up still at the moment. Trying to close up onto the back of Brian through that braking zone, but unsuccessfully so. Through the bridge and down the fast, almost flat sector into the braking zone on the second bridge, through the right hander there. Now they'll be getting almost back up to full speed down this back straight until the hard braking zone for the hairpin. Vex still trying all he can to stick with Brian, but I think he's definitely lost the toe now, hasn't he? Moulton is surely going to start creeping up onto the back of him. Can Vex hold on to that 5th place? He is back up into the position he started in. This is where he qualified, but we'll have to wait and see if he can hold on to it. Moulton's had a few moments, hasn't he, tonight in the Aston, but he's also looked very strong on some of the laps as well. I think as soon as them tyres come into their temperature window, he is going to be definitely starting to push. Moulton's still not quite. Oh, it looks like he has started to close that gap now to Vexed. Not quite in tow yet. Yeah, looking like Vex is really slow through that downhill sector there. He's normally quite strong through there, he has been, so maybe them tyres starting to suffer a little bit. No, they're not too bad. But Mawson he has definitely got the tyre and the fuel advantage at the moment. He's also got the advantage of that ERS there as well, so he should surely be able to make up a position. And Vexton, Mawson just coming past to lap Ginger there. Gin's just looking like he had a bit of a moment there. Also conscious of the cars coming behind him, so probably trying to keep it out wide there. So Mawson still not quite within range to go for a move yet. I think we will see it come though as the race progresses. We are approaching, well no, we're in the last 15 minutes now, so we've got 15 minutes left, just under. Dizzy Rip back up to 7th place. He obviously went for the undercut, didn't he? On Graham and Ginge, which has worked for him at the moment. He's back up to 7th. Has he underfueled though? Not too sure. Graham, he's there in 8th. He's in the Alpine. He's also saved a fair bit of ERS as well, so he may be able to start using that to his advantage to close that gap to Dizzy up ahead. You see, he does give it a little blast there, almost collecting the wall. Ginge still currently 9th. There's going to be some decent points for him. Obviously not a full grid this evening, but he will still pick up 9th place points. So it's going to be a good start to the season for Ginge. I think most of the guys who obviously couldn't attend the opening round should be there for the next round. As I say, it was looking like we had enough or possibly enough people for 2 lobbies, but we shall see. We shall see in round 2 how many people we get. So Chuck's still currently the race leader. He's actually got the fastest lap as well, for 1:12.090. But it does look like he is getting quite low on fuel now. Possibly only a few laps left in that car. Will he have to do a splash and dash? Doing really well at the moment though. He's kept that gap, hasn't he, to Coca? And you just see Coca come around that hairpin there. Firmly trying to chase Chuck down now. Chuck on the quite a few laps older, soft. He's actually just done another fastest lap of 1:12.018, so the tyre wear obviously not affecting him too. Oh, as I say, that he has a huge moment on the exit of turn 1. He managed to keep it. That was a great save there from Chuck. It looks like that car has become a little bit squirrely now. So as I said, the tyre wear probably not being a factor. It probably has become a factor all of a sudden. Or maybe it's just a few corners where he's not quite getting the traction he would like. Doing really well at the moment though is Chuck. Coca. He led the race for the whole first half of the race, didn't it? But it does look like he has got the better tyres. He has definitely got more fuel as well than Chuck. He has definitely got more ERS as well. And Chuck is into the bits. So Chuck has felt the need to go for a splash and a dash. So Coca will become your new race leader again. There he goes. So yeah, solid racing all night so far from Coca. He managed to keep that lead, didn't he? I think maybe if Chuck hadn't have underfueled and had to pit again, it may have been a different result, but it's looking like Coca might be good for this first round. As we're into the the last 10 minutes now, final stages of this race. He has still got 3/4 of that ERS left, so he's done very well on his strategy, hasn't he? He's saved his tyres, he's saved his fuel, saved his ERS. Nobody apart from Chuck really able to touch him this evening. And there is Chuck. Chuck is now back out. He's now got enough fuel to take him to the end of the race. He's actually decided to put on a fresh set of softs as well. So it's looking like, even though he's lost the lead of the race, he's actually made a 2-stop work. Which is what I kind of wanted to see. I wanted to see a few different strategies in this season, but as I say, I think the tyre rules will be revised. Because it definitely spices it up a bit when you throw a mandatory medium stint into the works. Brian Marcani back up to 3rd place now. He's under pressure from Wayne G though. Wayne G has closed that gap somewhat. Brian Marcani, crucially though, still with ERS. We know that Wayne G had used all of his. That's why you can see that green light above Brian Marcani's head. There is no light above Wayne G's. It's gone out now, which means he has completely depleted his battery. Obviously these not specific, well, not really ERS systems, are they? Because they don't recover the energy. It's more like a hybrid battery system or hybrid boost system. So as they start lap 35, Brian Marcani is still there in 3rd place. Wayne G not really able to get back past him now. He's sticking with him, but that gap is starting to stretch. And I thought we may have seen Mawson managed to get past Vext already, but Vext still holding on to 5th position for the meantime. Mawson has dropped a little way off the back of him. He was right in his wheel tracks, wasn't he? So Vext doing enough at the moment. Oh, actually, Mawson picking up a slight penalty there as well. So that's not going to help his efforts, but he has still got a fair bit of ERS left, hasn't he? Or a fair bit of that overtake. So the cars all fairly spread out now. I think the closest two on the track at the moment are probably Wayne G and Brian. They were just up ahead of Vext and Mawson on the track map on the top right. This is where it normally happens though, isn't it? Towards the final stages of the race. Oh, Dizzy Rip actually, he's into the pits again. So he is going to lose that position, surely, to Graham. And he's managed to go through, so I'm not sure what happened with Dizzy. Has he got mechanical issues on that car? No, he's gone for a new set of boots. So he fancies a 2-stop as well, but I think it's a little bit late in the race. We still have 6 minutes left, just under. Ginge, they're in 9th place. I think maybe just not finding his feet in this first round. I think we will see, there's a big moment there from Ginge. I think we will see good things come from him as the season progresses. Maybe just not finding his feet in the early stages in the SF23. I know a lot of guys saying that they felt a lot different. I quite like it, to be fair. I think it feels a lot more stable than the older version. I think the older version maybe having slight more power, and it used to snap a bit more on the exit. I think you can trust in the aero a lot more with the newer version. So Coca still with a commanding lead over Chuck. He's actually taken the fastest lap as well of a 1:11.544. That'd be an extra point on the board for Coca. He's done really well, hasn't he, this evening? Not really having any moments. Obviously, he did lose the race lead, didn't he, momentarily to Chuck. Chuck managing to get ahead for a while, but Chuck, unfortunately, under fueling. And that did cost him. He's now down in second. Well, I say he's down in second. He's still on the podium, so I think that'll be a decent result. Well, it will be a decent result. I think Chuck will be quite happy with that. Be some nice early points on the board. And more importantly, no incidents this evening, so no safety cars, no incidents to speak of. Everybody keeping it nice and clean. In fact, I think the only incident really to speak of was Vex's terrible start. Almost dead on the line. I think he was too busy playing with his setup or settings, even trying to sort his brake balance, and missed the lights go out. It was a sitting duck. Oh, and we missed that move between Mawson and Vex, and Mawson now managing to get past Vex. I think Vex must have had a moment somewhere. It allowed Mawson to close that gap, and then he used the advantage of the rest of his overtake to get past him. And that's the 48-minute mark, so I think we're only going to have another, well, probably the remainder of this lap and one more lap. Actually, being a 50-minute endurance, this one. So yeah, Mawson, he has now started to pull away from Vex. There wasn't really a lot Vex could do. I think Vex actually having to save fuel slightly now as well. I think he's concerned that he hasn't put enough fuel in that SF. So it's looking like Mawson may finish in 5th place. Vex is going to have to settle for 6th. But Mawson has pulled off some great moves tonight, hasn't he? And Vex as well. What a spectacle that was to see them 3 wide through the tunnel. Vex, Graham and Dizzy, I believe it was. Graham is there still in 7th place. In fact, no, he's managed to get back past Dizzy, hasn't he? He's got back past Dizzy. He's just hit the wall, though. He's just hit the wall. He's got a barrier. He's got a penalty, 0.5-second penalty. It hasn't allowed him to serve it, so he may have to take that across the finish line, which won't be ideal because that will go up to a whole second's worth penalty. If Dizzy is close enough, he may be able to snag that 7th position. He's still there currently in 7th, 8th, even trying to chase down 7th. He's on low fuel now. He's still got some of that overtake. He's going to be trying to use that to try and get onto the back of Graham again. Ginge We haven't really seen a lot of Ginge, have we, this evening? He's looked like he's been struggling a little bit. I think he'll definitely be getting the practice in and bringing his A game for the next round. So we'll go on board with the race leader, who is still Coca. This is going to be the final lap. Oh, in fact, so Molson finishing in 5th place. Vex is going to finish 6th. Graham, he's going to take 7th. In fact, we'll come back onto them in a minute. So Molson and Vex not managing to get through and do another lap. The top 4 did. They will finish this lap. So Coca, he's going to take the checkered flag. That's a nice win there for him. What a mate. First round, first win. Chuck, he's going to bring him in 2nd place. I'm not sure where Brian McCartney is. He's some way behind him now. So there you go, Chuck. He brings home 2nd place. 3rd and final place on the podium is going to go to Brian McCartney. I think he'll be happy with that. He's had not a bad race, has he? Yeah, he's happy with that. You can tell by the weaving at the end there. Wayne G. He's going to bring him in 4th. So 4th place points for Wayne G. So Molson was 5th. Vex finished in 6th. Dizzy Rip was 7th. Graham was 8th. And Ginge was 9th. Well, that was round 1, guys. And I will see you in the next round. I've been your boy Vex. This has been the Ultimate Racing League Super Formula 23 Season 2. Good night.